What's up, Transformdom? This is Ben here in China, and today we're going to take a look at the MP-44 masterpiece Optimus Prime. And here's the beautiful box from the front, from the side, the other side, the top, the bottom, and the back. Let's take a look at the accessories. Here we have spark plug, and how does it look? It looks pretty good. Under the floodlights, you can see there's no paint on the face. It's just painted in flesh colors. You got the construction hat there, typical blue pants, and waterproof boots. What is quite amazing about this new age of little mini figurines is that the articulation on these is pretty amazing. So spark plug can look left and right, not really up. He has ab crunch, can do a bit of ab tilt, hands can go up, and of course your regular forward and backward motions. The hips can move forward, back a little bit, knees can bend. So that's spark plug in a nutshell. Next we have Spike, and here's a closer look at Spike. And because he is a thinner figure with a longer ball joint on the neck, it can look up, can look down, it can tilt, shoulders can go up, can move the hands forward, has an ab crunch, abs can tilt a bit, hips can go forward, and knees can go down. So there we have it for Spike. Next we have Carly. Let's take a closer look at Carly. Again, no paint on the face, blonde hair is done pretty well. She has a hairband, nice light blue blouse, and kind of like an overall with 80s style boots, socks, and jeans. A little bit like spark plug, the head can look down, look up a little bit, tilt a little bit. The ball joints are just a bit tight. Shoulders move up, move forward, a little bit of an ab crunch, doesn't really have an ab tilt. Hips move forward, knees bend down, and hips move back. So there we have Carly. Next we have Roller, painted in a matte grey-like finish. Nice looking tires and wheel set. Here's how Roller looks from the front, the side, the other side, the back, the bottom, and the top. What's cool about this version of Roller is that the hood can open up and you can see the engine bay. The back portion can flip around and you can do lots of stuff with it. For example, Roller can tow the Optimus Prime trailer, pull out this trailer piece from the anti-aircraft gun and slip it behind Roller. Roller can now tow the anti-aircraft gun, and it has a bit of articulation like that. If you pull out the control tower and flip this black piece out, you can insert it on top of Roller, and now Roller has the control tower on it and it can move around. Roller also easily sits 4 passengers. Now let's compare the MP-44 Roller with the MP-10 Roller. There are some similarities in how Roller is constructed and molded. For example, this detail here, 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 and here are about the same. There's a bit of windshield here, and of course there is the warning light at the back, plus the headlights on the front. So these are similar looking mold details. However, there's a big difference in the two rollers. This top section here is bigger on MP-44. The hood bay is smaller. Wheels on MP-44's roller is bigger. The warning lights on MP-10's roller is bigger. This roller sits 4, this roller sits 1. There's more paint details on the rims on MP-44 as opposed to the MP-10. So here are the two rollers, from the front, from the side, from the other side, from the back, the bottom. As you can see, the MP-10 roller has a lot more details at the bottom and the top. The MP-44 roller has a longer wheelbase, but if you include the exhaust, the MP-10 roller is longer. Now let's take a look at the control deck and anti-aircraft gun. Alone, it can roll very nicely. On the side here, you have some radar that can twist and turn. The arms here articulate as well. You got 1 articulation point, 2 articulation point, and 3 articulation point, plus a swivel that allows you to move around. There's also a slider here for you to push out the guns. And these are your anti-aircraft guns. There's another hinge ratchet mechanism in here, allows the anti-aircraft deck to become more like a tower. There's a joint there, strong ratchet joint up there, and another ratchet joint there. There's also a slider here. When it's down, this section moves quite easily. You push it up, there's a bit of resistance. You can also slide the wheels down like that, lock it into place, and it becomes a stand of sorts. You can also hitch the anti-aircraft gun onto Roller, and Roller can roll about. The control deck also opens up and you can fit a passenger in there. And here you have the iron blaster. To use it in the out mode, fold the handle and plug it in onto Roller. Boom, 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 boom. You can also continue to fold the gun in. Take the MP-10 cap out. There's a little joint here which you can pull up, and it exposes a sliding peg. Line that up with your sliding slot and slide the blaster in. Attach the trailer back onto MP-44, and I must say it doesn't look that bad, but you are compromising the turning radius of MP-10. And here's the energy supply pipe. You can choose to mount it on roller like this, or you can combine the two end pieces and mount it on roller like this. You can also add the blast effects here, 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 and here. And finally we have MP-44 in the truck mode. It looks gorgeous. Nice paint all over the cab section. Beautiful shiny chrome bits that is very close to perfection. Everything is painted all over the vehicle and it's truly more than meets the eye. Together as a unit, it rolls very nicely. It turns very nicely indeed. And here's the truck up close. The front section of the bumper does seem to be very low to the ground. The rivets are not distracting at all, very subtle, and the paint scheme of a cherry red finishing gives it a very vibrant look. From the side you can see the gas tank is a little bit unfinished due to the gap here, and I know that a lot of people have commented about how messy the rear section of the cab looks, but in my personal opinion it really isn't that bad, because a real cab section of a truck don't look this pretty either. I have a bit more gripe about this unfinished section than this unfinished section up there. I accept that this is part and parcel of what a real truck would look, but a real truck will also not have these little gaping holes at the rear section. I kind of like how they molded this section here, and this is part of the hip section, and the molding here does give it a very integrated look in a cab section. The wheels are not your classical third-party rubber wheels. This feels like it's made of a heavier construction that hopefully will last a whole lot longer. The doors open up to reveal a very tiny tight space, and you can place a figurine in there, and that's how they look, and you can even fit the MP-10 spike in there. And here's how it looks when it's closed up. Too bad you don't see the humans from the front here. The wheel section from the side looks quite good. I love the details on the rims and the chrome finishing, but when you look from the bottom, the wheels, tires and rims and all looks too thin. And it's such a pity that the front tires don't turn. That would be awesome if it did. And as you can see straight up from the box, in the promo pictures, as well as in my copy, the gas tank don't tap in too well. And here's MP-44 and MP-10 side by side. Let's look at the similarities, shall we? We got this little details that looks quite similar. The headlights looks quite similar. This little reflector piece here, where the smokestacks are at. But what about the differences? You can straight away see that the MP-10 Optimus Prime's cab mode does appear to be bigger in terms of height and width. The rivets on MP-10 is more pronounced. The finishing on the red section on MP-10 is not as good as the painted parts on MP-44. Size of the windows, grills, grill details there, license plate section here. From the side you got the silver stripes here, you got different Autobot insignia, side mirrors, gas tank, smokestacks are molded differently. This section here looks a bit unfinished on MP-10 but looks a lot better on MP-44, and the tires on MP-10 is a whole lot bigger than MP-44. And the rear cab section, and here are the trucks from the front, from the side, from the other side, from the back, the bottom, and the top. And finally we have the trailer section. I love the cartoon accuracy all over the trailer, and it has a good enough detail to make it more real world accurate in the alt mode. This little section here is quite bulky indeed. The whole trailer is painted almost everywhere except for this bits here. Tires are bigger. There's even painted details on the spare wheels here. And what is fun about this trailer here is that it is really easy to open the doors, and the ramp extends out and has a low ground clearance. Roller easily rolls up. No problem for Ironhide rolling up and going into the trailer, but we still might have problems for any of the sports car to roll up, but I guess they can back their way up. The bottom of the trailer section can be pulled out, and you can store lots of stuff. It is also very easy to open up the trailer to become the combat deck. Before you open up the trailer section to become the combat deck, you might want to extend out the stabilizer section here. But as you extend it out very slowly, do you see what's happening? This is opening up to give it more grip onto the ground. All you have to do is open up the doors, and open this up. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. To install the anti-aircraft gun control tower onto the combat deck, you will first move this piece down like this, and then you will turn in the wheel like that. These two pegs will go into these slots here. Align it up and you can slide it forward. Now you can move your anti-aircraft gun on the combat deck itself. Because Sparkplug, Spike and Carly have magnets on the sole of the feet, you can place the figures onto this magnetic section here, and here you go. And that is pretty impressive. You can put your figurines in a sitting position and place them into here or here. You can convert the combat deck into a combat trailer by first flipping this section down, closing up the trailer, pushing this back, flipping up the stand, and installing the trailer onto MP-44. And now you got a combat trailer. You can even store roller very nicely and snugly into the combat deck. By stowing away the crane on the control deck, you can almost store everything in here. You can also turn the base section from this orientation up, turn it around, and slide it back, close the trailer section, and now you can have the anti-aircraft gun on the front section. Roller is back heavy. And finally, you can convert the whole combat deck into a combat tower. All you gotta do is extend the anti-aircraft control deck like this, place it on, slide it in, close the trailer, close the door, and stand the whole thing up like that. You can also install the jetpack onto the trailer by moving this piece down, flipping this peg down, and putting it into the slot right there. You can add the blast effects onto the trailer, which gives it a pretty cool look. Now let's compare trailers. The MP-10 trailer is a little longer and just a tiny bit wider. The rivets on the MP-10 trailer is a lot more pronounced than MP-44. There are also detailed differences between the two trailers. The MP-44 trailer sits a lot lower than the MP-10 trailer. It's harder to open the MP-10 trailer's doors. You gotta lift this up, lift that up in order to open the MP-10 trailer. And the ramps, you know, comes a lot steeper. So much easier to open the MP-44 doors, and the tilt of the ramp is a lot lower. And here are the two combat decks side by side. You can see the MP-10's combat deck is a lot taller than the MP-44 combat deck. Standing the combat decks, you can see the intricate detail on MP-10. And here are the two trailers next to each other, from the front, from the side, the other side, the bottom, and the top. Let's do some comps. Here's MP-44 with Wheeljack, Smokescreen, Mirage, Breakdown, Hot Rod, Ironhide, Shrapnel, Snarl, Starscream, Ultra Magnus, and MP-10 Optimus Prime.
Initiating VisScan technology.
Using my VisScan tech, here are the painted app bits everywhere that you see, except for here. Notable accents are here, 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 and there.
Employing Cold Sense technology.
Using my Cold Sense tech, here are the die-cast bits. I can't feel it in the out mode, but I think there's something down there.
Compiling Toon Screen technology.
Using my Toon Screen tech, here are the cartoon accurate bits. Here, 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 and there. And for the non-cartoon accurate bits, here, 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 and here. And we're gonna continue with our bot mode review of the MP-44 Optimus Prime. We have a whole slew of accessories, so let's get down to it. And here's the matrix of leadership, same looking die-cast material and feel. And on the right is the MP-10 matrix, and on the left is MP-44 matrix. Not a lot of difference except with the colors of the crystal and the casing. To insert the matrix, all you gotta do is do the usual thing. Open this up. It may be a little difficult to open up the chest, and then in this orientation, insert the matrix until it's fitted, close the matrix cavity, and close everything up nicely. And let's revisit the Iron Blaster again. This is how it looks from the side, the other side, the bottom, the top, the back, and the front. And you can insert the blast effects. And Optimus Prime can hold the Iron Blaster by tapping it in like that. Not the firmest grip unless you close everything up. You can store the Iron Blaster on his back. And here's Optimus Prime holding the Iron Blaster with 2 hands. And here's the Energon X. Very nice bright orange translucent glow to it. There is movement along this little middle section here. And to install the Energon X onto Optimus Prime, to remove the hand you have to pull it out and then insert the peg in here into that little slot there. And that's Prime with his Energon X. Next we have the rocket booster from the episode of More Than Meets the Eye. You gotta have the top configured like this. Insert it along the slots here. And that's the rocket booster. Can also add the blast effects. And here's the default head on Optimus Prime. And you can see this is the more movie-centric head. And we can also install an earlier version of Optimus Prime's head as seen in the More Than Meets the Eye pilot episodes. And here's the Starscream attachment on MP-44. And this is a throwback at the episode where Starscream disguised himself as Optimus Prime in the Megatron's Master Plan episode. We can also install the battle damage head as well as the battle damage ab piece to depict the final battle between Megatron and himself, but I do think that there is too little battle damage effects to really give us the full movie look. Perhaps this could be one of the repaints that will come out. And finally we have the trailer that doubles as the maintenance deck where Optimus Prime and the other Autobots can get repaired. What is pretty cool about this maintenance deck is that these 2 human controlled sections can fold down, and with the magnetized bottom on here, 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 and here, you can put Spark Plug, Spike, and Carly into pretty cool poses. Another cool feature about this anti-aircraft gun and control deck piece is that you can remove the control tower and you plug this end to the side slots there, and there you go. Now for the main event. Optimus Prime himself looks extremely gorgeous. Beautiful paint all over the figure with chrome bits added to give it that bling. Even though the figure looks like it's completely painted, there are some parts where it is unpainted. But the beauty about this toy is that the color of the unpainted parts matches so closely with the painted parts you can't really tell it apart. For example, the shoulder joints here is unpainted and this part here is painted. Look at how close the painted parts and the unpainted parts are. This is where I believe research money has gone into. While the sculpt looks very good from the front, there are a few points of drawbacks. For example, the gap here, the gap there, and a bit of the gap there. Now I don't really mind these gaps here because of the butterfly joints. And of course, we've got to say that the backpack on camera looks displeasing, but it isn't really that bad in person. You can also install LR44 batteries into Optimus Prime. All you gotta do is unscrew this thing, turn on the voice chip, and then you press this button.
I am Optimus Prime. Autobots, transform and roll out. Transform and roll out. One shall stand. One shall fall.
And to cycle through the voice program, all you gotta do is press this really hard until you hear a sound. And you cycle this through a few times until you get to Peter Collins' voice. The rest of the voice are just Japanese clips. To properly bend the knees, you gotta pay attention to this peg and this little hole here. When you bend the knee, make sure that this peg goes into this slot. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you see, now that the peg is in the slot, you can bend the knee and everything should be okay. And here's Optimus Prime from the front, from the side, the other side, the back, the bottom, and the top. Putting MP-44 next to MP-10, we can really see the difference. Notable differences are the head sculpts, chest piece, the grills, proportions of the torso, length of the arms, sculpting here, big chunky calves over there, and many other differences. Just putting the 2 Optimus Primes side by side is like night and day, and I'm really happy that we've got an upgrade. MP-10 is also less painted. However, it is really easy and fun to transform. MP-44 has this beautiful paint job all over, and it will definitely look extremely toonish on your toon-centric shelves. Now, MP-44 is not for everyone. MP-44 is for the collectors that desires extreme toon accuracy and high articulation. And when I do my cartoon throwback series, I think I will have a lot of fun just trying to play around and display this guy. Anyhow, here are the Optimus Primes from the front. From the side, and you can see this part here that juts out from the MP-44 back is a bit of an eyesore. If it was sculpted this way, it still would have been okay. Face to face, the other side, the back, the bottom, and the top. Let's do some comps. Here's Optimus Prime with Wheeljack, Prowl, Sunstreaker, Sideswipe, Tracks, Red Alert, Huffer, Drag Strip, Dead End, Wild Rider, Breakdown, Ironhide, Ratchet, Inferno, Grapple, Shockwave, Rodimus Prime, Ultra Magnus, and Megatron. Let's go through the articulation checklist, shall we?
Initiating Viscan technology.
Using my Viscan tech, here are the painted bits. Everywhere that's visible are mostly painted. Notable areas are here, there, over here, here, and here.
Employing Cold Sense technology.
Using my Cold Sense tech, here are the die cast bits. Here. And here.
Compiling Toon Screen technology.
Using my Toon Screen tech, here are the cartoon accurate bits. Here, 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 and here. For the non-cartoon accurate bits, details there, shape of the chest, grey piece there, and the iron blaster being too long. So there you go, that's my bot mode review of MP-44 Optimus Prime. So what do I think about this fella? Let's talk about 3 things that I love about this toy. First thing, the insane articulation. OMG, it's really, you can recreate almost any scene I imagine of the G1 animation cartoon. I mean, just look at how he can bend the knees, move his arms in a very organic manner, even though these Transformers are as blocky as hell. The second thing I like about this toy is the immense playability that you have in the truck mode, especially for the trailer section, and the bot mode. I mean, the accessories that comes jam-packed with it is insane. All the reviewers had to spend like 45 minutes to an hour reviewing this toy, and that says a lot about what you can do in terms of display. And the third thing I like about this toy is tune accuracy. It is crazy good, and the Peter Cullen voice chip is incredible. What about the thing that I think that could have been done better about this toy? Well, the QC issues. My copy has incomplete tempo printing here and the lack of outward hip ratchets. Other than that, it's a fantastic toy. So would I recommend this toy? Probably not the first issue, because I think that the factory is just not good, not up to par, and a lot of their first releases tend to have that kind of issue. MP-39, MP-36, but I believe the reissues tend to do a little better. I bought the reissue of MP-39 and it is smack on the money. No ping chipping, everything is super tight and it's really gorgeous. So I would say if you want MP-44, wait for the reissue. So those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Please leave them in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and share button, and also hit the sub and bell icon for more future videos. Again, this is Ben here in China signing off, and I'll see you on the flip side.